Hey guys, welcome back to the barrel. We're inside the barrel now. That's the theme of this week's episode, and we're tiny little rodents.
We don't want to be in there, though.
No,
that's
not
bad.
Not if we're burning stuff.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to burn anything this week. This week's been pretty good, except for like kind of a general topic, which I think I'm going to kick off with. So, wedding season is upon us.
Fuck, yeah, okay. Go ahead. Yeah, I know it is.
Every so often, there just seems to be a summer where every few weeks, someone that you're connected with is getting married. You gotta go.
It's stupid. It's fucking retarded.
It's weird. Like, this was the first one of the season for me this past weekend, and I was like going into it just like, whatever, man, free food, cheap booze. This is gonna be great. And I don't know. It's like the ceremony and stuff, fine, whatever. Like, I've seen it all at this point already. I'm 26. Like, you can't, crazy music choice. Like, nah, whatever. That's not gonna get the juices going anymore. Like, you need some sort of elaborate stage play or something to blow my mind there. But the dancing part, I hate so much. And I don't know what I recommend people do. Maybe just don't have that. Like,
sure.
Just like,
I agree with you.
Like, have some DJ playing some tunes or something, but have some like other activity for the people to do than just the floor's open, guys. Come on. It's just like, no, this is weird. Like, I know everybody here vaguely enough to the point where like I can't cut loose without hearing about it, so I'm just going to be all weird and awkward and reserved now and just kind of sit here glumly and drink coffee. And that's what I did. And I felt like such a wet blanket. But I don't know. It's not like the correct atmosphere for dance for me.
At least you went, though.
I did go.
Because I usually don't. It's like, oh, this is happening. Nope.
Yeah. Just this summer, there's like or this year, I guess, there's a couple more I'm trying to like book time off for, and that's getting a little competitive. And
competitive?
Well, just like, dude, I'm trying to do something that week. Oh, okay. Well, okay. And like the next one coming up, I'm not too worried about because after coming off of one, I don't know. I just feel like lame.
Like it's going to get easier.
Well, like, I don't want to go to this free party. Like, what kind of jerk do you have to be? But I don't know. It's weirdly taxing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to really express it other than just like, it feels like you have to perform and put on an act or something. Like, just like you need to behave like this because this is a happy event and you have to feel this way about it. And you're just like,
it's fucking stupid.
I don't know enough about this particular situation. Or like last year or a year and a half ago or something was the last one I went to, and I was like in a super bad mood. And like I was kind of just speaking my mind. And I was like, oh man, I think I'm just like burning bridges right now. Like you can just feel it. Like I need to lighten up or like all these friendships will end. It was really strange. So yeah.
When was this?
This was like maybe like I remember it was like right after my parents got divorced.
Oh yeah.
To a wedding, and I was just in like the foulest mood about that whole thing. And it was just kind of like, yeah, fucking weddings, right? And people were just like not like talking to me.
Oh, your friend's wedding that happened after that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was like, in retrospect, looking back on it, like actually really well done. But I was just not in the mood to care. Like,
sure.
Yeah, it was something. But I guess just like, yeah, dance wise, I was thinking like just that lineup of super generic, like top 40 hits blended with tons of country because we're in small town kind of Canada just was not what I wanted to deal with at all. I was just sitting.
Fernie.
Yeah, we were in Fernie.
Yeah.
So, but like a lot of the people there were from Lethbridge, so like way into some of those hot country jams, like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Fuck.
Yeah. So just like, give me another beer, please.
Right. Yeah.
It was cheap beer though, like $2.
Good.
They have good variety of stuff.
If they're playing that shit, that's the least they owe you.
Yep. So that happened. After that though, I got to watching all of True Detective again.
Okay.
So I watched all of it. And I meant to pace that out a little better. Like I was like, oh, this will be my new like work show. I'll watch one episode and just kind of let it ruminate and then watch another one next time I have some downtime. And I was just like, I did that. Like I watched the first 2 at work when there was time available. And then I just got home and like did like 3 hours the one day and then like the other 3 the next day.
So just like the rest of them.
Yeah, just 3. Yeah. Oh, it's like 3:30 in the morning now. I should go sleep. All right, let's watch this next disc, and just watched all of it and like a bunch of special features and stuff. And yeah, that show is a sharp piece of crime storytelling right there. That's some good stuff. So yeah,
cool. Second time though, right?
Yeah, second time.
So you knew what to expect going in at least.
Yeah, but like it's a show where there's like enough kind of like, is this building to like a larger mystery? Like it's like a standalone season in a way of like it's the story of these 2 cops, but like they discover all this kind of weird stuff about like this cult and these serial killings in this one region that might bleed into the subsequent seasons and stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of like watching for clues and stuff that might speak to a larger mystery than the one they address in the first season. But yeah, so like it was kind of one of those like watching for all the details and stuff this time. Like, yeah, I know the basic beats of the story, but now I'm looking for like extra stuff, and there was a few morsels to think about that I was happy about. So yeah, cool. It's a well produced thing. There's a couple commentaries, like 2 that I'm still looking to go back on and check those out. But
whose are they?
It's the writer, T-Bone Burnett, he was like the music producer guy. And I think one of the actors is on one of them, but not Woody or Matthew. It's like, I don't know, some supporting player, which is kind of weird, but yeah. Yeah, but the main thing, I guess the guy, Nick Pizzolatto, like the writer, is also kind of the showrunner of the show. So he's kind of the guy you want to hear about like what's going on in the show. So yeah, it's not a bad sounding package right there, but I haven't gone back and done that. Kind of weird. Like I was kind of hoping there would be a commentary on the last episode, because there's like a big question mark in that episode that I was kind of like, oh, are they going to elaborate on this? But no, it's just episodes 4 and 5 of the season. There's 8 in the season. So it's like them talking about this like much loved episode with this super long tracking shot. So I'm assuming they're going to talk about that. And then 5 is kind of it's a key part in the story, so I get why they'd elaborate on it. But it's kind of, again, I kind of want to know like what could be next for True Detective Season 2 is kind of what I want to get teased. And I don't think there's going to be much about that on this DVD.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, there was that. Tons more Mario Kart.
Okay.
I'm at a point where the 150cc stuff is just kicking my ass. Like,
what are the things? Is it 50, 100, 150?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I've gotten gold on all the 100cc cups, and now I'm on to the 150cc, and I've got like 5 silvers or something.
So it's destroying you.
Yeah, and then like the last 2, like they're kind of 2 complete different sets of courses. There's like remade levels and then brand new levels. And the Grand Prix that is brand new levels, like the one that ends with that new Rainbow Road, that one I've gotten 4th in, so I don't even have a cup of any kind, which is funny. And then the other one, like I was like, wherever I know these levels more, like exact same thing. I got 4th place again. I was just like, fuck. Like, you know, it's just the worst of just like, oh, Baby Peach drifted into 1st place right at the end there and fucked everything. Great. I just wasted like half an hour. Like, it's just the worst. So I've taken to just playing online now, because like I'm routinely doing pretty good. So it's just like, I just want to race, and hey, I'm earning coins and stuff.
Like, I don't want to be destroyed every time I race. So let's play with other people that might be bad.
Yeah, human players are way more kind of variety to how they play, whereas it's like 150cc is this good, and I can't clear that bar right now, and I'm getting worn out trying to. So I'm just going to like play with people, and sometimes people, I'm like totally wrecking them. Sometimes it's a nice competition, and like it's all a struggle for the top. Like there was one where it was like everyone was so tightly grouped that if like anything happened to you, you'd immediately drop to like 7th. Like it's just like Oh, I'm in first. Oh, I'm in second. All right. Oh, I got bumped and now I'm in eighth. Oh, it's over kind of thing. I was just like, damn. But it's like such a tight group that you still feel like you're racing. It's like white knuckle stuff. So I don't know. It's probably the best I've handled drifting in any of those games ever. Like they just explained that correctly or something. Like I feel comfortable doing that, and like the stunts and all that, like just going off a jump and ramping and stuff. Like I feel like I am in control of these mechanics. Whereas I tried playing some Super Circuit on the way to the wedding actually in Fernie, and it was just like total.
It was like not working.
Like I was just like, all right, I'm going to try a drift. And I was like driving off the track, but it was like on 50cc, so I still won. Like,
right.
So broken.
It was on retard mode.
Yeah, it's like I just drove right across this thing instead of drifting around, and it didn't really matter. Like it didn't slow me down enough to where it really mattered. So great. I turned one up to 100cc and still got first place. So yeah, it just seemed way crazy. And I tried playing F-Zero, like
GX
Maximum Velocity, the GV
okay.
one.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh right, these games are like stupid hard and always were.
They can be, yeah, for sure.
Like it's just like, oh, you exploded. You failed. You're just like, oh, right, okay. So then, like, I was being real careful, and it's just like, yeah, game over. You lost. It's like, yeah, but I survived the whole race. It's like, yeah, you got fourth, though. You suck. I was like,
yeah, you have to stay alive and be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was way too much for me. I've never been super good at those games. Like, I like the idea, like, hover car, future racing. Like, that's Wipeout right there, too. But I don't know. I've never devoted the time to like finding that balance of being cautious but being good.
Yeah.
Zero demands. So yeah,
they're fun though. Those games.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like belly aching about, hey, where's the new one lately, right? Like I just seem to be seeing people saying that again of just like it's been like 10 years. Where is it? That like it's.
I guess I haven't really seen that, but I can see where they're coming from. It has been a while now.
Yeah. Nintendo. That's the eternal struggle. I'm just like, give us the old thing. Give us more of it. I was like, okay. Shh. It'll be all right.
It'll be all right. Trust us.
So I started playing Shovel Knight today.
Okay.
Because I was listening to this video game podcast, the Top Down Perspective, and all the guys.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, they seem to dig that game.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I fought like a couple knights, like the Black Knight, who's kind of just the teaser first guy, and like the King Knight, I guess. He was another dude.
Yep.
And yeah, like it's like you said, like a total combination of some of the best mechanics from old games. So you just got Pogo in from the DuckTales.
And like Castlevania, Mega Man, like it's all in there kind of mixed in.
Like maybe the one part of it that is like rubbing me a bit is the Mega Man-esque platforming business.
The jumping stuff.
It's like with the pogoing, it's like, okay, well, I can do some stuff with that. But there was a part in the level I played with like these spell books that are like timed.
That is literally the only place in that game you get those.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure anyways. I haven't beat the last thing, so...
Because I was starting to kind of bump my head against a wall there a bit, and I was just like, God damn it! But I was like, it was like checkpoint 4 of 5 or something. I was like, I gotta beat this level. No,
right? Yeah,
I beat that level. But then, I like that also. After you beat a boss, it's just like, yeah, the knight just kind of goes to sleep, hangs out near this campfire. Like,
yeah,
it was a tough day, dude. That was a huge battle.
And then he has a dream.
Yeah, sometimes he has a dream, which is cool. And there's a Smokey the Bear reference, which is kind of nice too. So
yeah, the achievement.
Well put together stuff. Like people like when I was trying to find out, like I just kind of typed in some stuff because I was initially running into some display options, like problems of just like it was overscanning like crazy, so I had to like adjust some resolution stuff. It wasn't that big a deal, but I was like looking for FAQs or whatever to see if this was a widespread problem, and just I noticed like a lot of people are referring to this as like an 8-bit game, but it looks better than 8-bit ever did.
Yeah. No, it for sure is.
Like 16-bit-ish sometimes, maybe? Like, maybe it's the color palette.
It's a combination of things. Actually, they have I think it was one of the creators put out like this long article.
Yeah.
Was like all the NES rules we broke. And it is basically like it saying like, yeah, this wouldn't work on an NES cartridge. This wouldn't work. Like
some like fluidity in some of the animations and stuff, or like during that dream sequence you mentioned where it like flies up to the sky. It's just like that's
right.
That's really smooth scrolling right there. Like I don't know if the NES could deal with that, but it looks nice, so it doesn't matter. But
sure,
and it definitely evokes that kind of aesthetic or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I've only put in like 45 minutes or something, but it was a pleasant first impression for the most part. Other than those spell books, that was getting the blood up a little bit. But yeah, Pogon. Although it did make me think of just like, it's super weird to me that we're still in a place where like copyright lawyers haven't ruined video games by copywriting mechanics, which is
is that even legal?
Well, that's the thing. It's just like, it's kind of the most fundamentally important things video game designers can create is good mechanics. So it's just like, hey, we came up with this pogo stick thing, and then everyone can use it. It's just like, well, if Disney could copyright it, they should and would, but I don't know. It's
like they probably would for sure.
Too generic a thing. Although it, like, if the Kill Switch people could have gotten some fat royalties from Epic for jacking cover, like the fire stuff,
yeah,
that would only be fair. Because they basically just stole that and said, here, we're going to put this in a bigger budget thing. And you're just like, where's Namco's check? It's like, yeah, well, whatever. It's got Marcus and all these aliens. This isn't the same thing. And you're just like, it's the fucking same thing.
Right.
Like, you stole the thing that mattered and you know it. Like, it's weird. Of just like video game mechanics are still in kind of this nebulous thing of just like, yeah, whatever, man. It's like that, but not like that enough to be litigious. It doesn't look like that guy.
I would have to think somebody's looked into it. There's a lot of shady people in that industry.
Oh, like there's some lawyers somewhere being like, is there any way? Well, actually, that's the thing. I've heard Namco, for example, has copyrighted minigames during loading screens or something to that effect.
Really?
Something shitty like that, which is kind of lame. But I don't know. Like, it seems like in some cases it can totally happen, but maybe it's like, no, this is too broad. Like, you can't prove you created this. Blind Fire's kind of, Splinter Cell sort of did it. It's kind of shitty. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty.
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like, it
didn't fit the gameplay at all.
No. Yeah. I mean, I used it to get out of a spot here and there, but it wasn't, like, fun to do.
No. Maybe it shouldn't be, though. Like, that's the like, you fucked up state for that game. It's like, now you have to do this crappy thing.
Who screwed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just elbowing people until they pass out. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of crappy stuff in that. But, yeah, it's kind of one of those, like, mashup type games of just, like, Darksiders or something. It just takes a highlight reel of stuff.
And it works really well.
And repurposes it. Yeah. And I don't know, like, the stuff it does on its own of just, like, there's this shovel guy and there's shovel jokes and what is it? Order of No Quarter. It's pretty good. I like that.
I don't even think I remember what you're talking about.
Okay, the Enchantress's squad of bad dudes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No Quarter, and it's just like, it rolls off the tongue. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
What do you think of the Troupple King?
Yep, I got some Ichor from that guy.
Yep.
The invincibility one, but I didn't really use it, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm still figuring stuff out. So there's that, and I watched Inside Llewyn Davis again.
Okay, sure.
And I guess more kind of importantly, I read Inside Llewyn Davis, like the screenplay.
Oh, so that's why you watched it again?
Yeah, I bought the screenplay yesterday, read it. It's pretty fast. Like, screenplays are typically 120 pages or something. This was about that. There's pictures in it for some reason. And yeah, then I watched the movie again and just noticed like the few differences that are in there over the course of the movie. It's just like, oh, it's kind of weird. Or it's like, oh, that detail I noticed in the screenplay isn't really clear in the movie. Like that this is the case or whatever. But yeah, it was just kind of a exercise to see what translated to the screen, I guess. That movie's okay. Like, it's not their best movie, but it's interesting in some ways. Just this kind of flawed, self-sabotaging character that rubs people the wrong way sometimes, I guess. Like, a lot of people don't like that movie because of the character, which I get that, but I don't know. It's like kind of neat to me to see a not success story, because there's a lot of success story movies, like music biopics. All of them are just like, man, this is how Ray Charles made it. Whereas just like, well, there must have been some other pianist or something that was really, trying, and he failed. This is kind of, there's this guy who's kind of like Bob Dylan, but not as good and not at the right time and all this kind of stuff. And
right.
So it's just kind of like, I bet there's like thousands of stories like that to every one Bob Dylan story. So kind of neat to see someone like that get the spotlight, even though it's kind of sad. But yeah, so that was that. And we watched Moonrise Kingdom again, Wes Anderson's previous film.
Yeah. Which
I still maintain is just kind of not anything super great, but it's fine. Like, it's just kind of a weak story.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's just two kids fall in love at summer camp, but it's just kind of 90 minutes. It just seems like a light trifle of a entire thing. Like, it's tons of style, which is what he does, but I just didn't feel like the core of it was that interesting. It's just this really weird characterization of kids. Like, it's kind of like an adult director forcing kids to act in ways kids don't act ever. So it just comes across as like really awkward of just like,
yeah,
they wouldn't say that or behave that way or anything. So it's just like, this is obviously a performance. Like, there was even a moment where I was like, I think that kid actor is like reading a cue card off screen left, because their eyes were like moving in this really strange way. They weren't like looking at the person they were talking to. So little things like that just kind of undermine that movie for me. Of just like, yeah, it's, got great production design and everything, but of course it does. Like, that doesn't matter. The story just isn't there. So yeah, it's no Grand Budapest. Yeah. There's some special features on there too, but they're all kind of promotional in nature, which seems kind of like a waste of time.
But they're just like trailers then?
Well, it's like 3 minute, like it's like a couple minute little bits of like Bob Balaban being like, hey, Edward Norton's in the movie. He plays this character. Please see this movie. And you're just like,
yeah, I did.
You're welcome. I don't know. It's kind of strange. But I guess, yeah, the big media event of this week.
Sure, of summer maybe for you.
Yeah, the new Weird Al album came out. I'm just bugging you.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine. It parodies things. It validates Lord's existence, though, so I'm a little bummed out about that.
Great. Okay, then.
There's a parody of that Royals song. You heard about that one?
No, never have.
Yeah. I was worried Get Lucky wouldn't be acknowledged at all, but it's in the polka. So
of course it is.
yeah, which is fine. But anyway, yeah. There's a new Planet of the Apes movie came out.
Right, yeah.
It's called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And as predicted, movie critics say it's so good. Say it's like the best one. And they're wrong.
Because it's not the best one, or it's not good?
Well, the best one came out 3 years ago.
Okay.
The heavy lifting was already done. This was an easy follow-up. And it's okay, but it's not as good. It's just...
How so?
And I know that sounds like, well, like, obviously Nathan already put all his eggs in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes basket like 3 years ago. He went crazy. And I was like, I know. But I actually just like the simplicity of that story more than the story they kind of coax up in the sequel.
What's the story they coax up in the sequel?
Well, in the first movie, you obviously have the Koba is violent and Caesar isn't thing developing.
Yeah.
And this movie is just that, basically, of just like
more of that.
It's just taken to an extreme, essentially, of just like humanity is already basically on the brink because at the end of the first movie, there's the virus and everything. They decide to reiterate that in the opening credits of this movie. I I guess that's fine. I don't know. I thought it was pretty clear, but it's like another map kind of thing with like the virus spreading around the map as the credits play.
Sure.
And at the end of the credit sequence, it's like there aren't a lot of people left. Anyway, here's the apes, and like they've kind of established a big base. They have kind of like tree houses and spears and stuff, and they have like the beginnings of a society. And Koba, upon discovering, oh, humans are still alive, he just is blinded by revenge and wants to kill all of them. Where Caesar is like, hey, I actually knew a cool one, so maybe they're not all that bad. And like, there's just kind of differences of opinions there. So then it's just kind of like a lot of politics about who should be in charge and who should be the leader on the ape side and also the human side, where Gary Oldman is kind of like, the apes almost killed everyone, we should stop them. Where the new guy, Jason Clarke, is like, no, like, you know, they're really intelligent and we should respect like their power and authority and stuff. And like, it's kind of just like two different camps, two different leaders vying for control. And that plays out over the course of like 2 hours and change. And there are battles and some cool scenes, but also just kind of, it just feels a little muddier and messier than the first movie's just ape prison movie. Apes have been kicked around their entire existence. They're going to take over now. Rise up and dethrone man as like the kingpin of the planet. Like, that story is so cool to me. This follow-up story, even though it's like bigger scale in a way of just like bunches of humans with like guns versus bunches of apes with guns, it's smaller scale in that most of the planet's already dead. Like, it just seems kind of small potatoes in comparison to the uprising that
Sure. Yeah.
like changed the course of everything. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It like visual effects and everything, fine. Like, there are a couple well-staged action sequences, one in particular, but I guess it's kind of maybe a little, it might ruin a bit of a nice surprise or something, so I won't exactly say. There's a bunch of like, maybe the thing that brought smiles to my face like the most often during the movie was just like all my favorite characters were back. Like Maurice the orangutan factors in a lot. He has just like pearls of wisdom to share.
Okay.
Kind of like, oh yeah, great, here he is. And like, you know, Caesar, Koba, Rocket, the chimp, he's there. There's no real like, Buck the gorilla died in the last movie, and they just don't really replace him. So there's just kind of no gorilla of substance, which is kind of too bad.
That's weird.
Yeah, there's like one scene where gorillas are used like to great effect of just like, they are the bodyguards essentially. Like, they are the first line of like watch, you know, sentries essentially. So
or like at the pub or whatever in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, the one you want manning the gate is a gorilla because they're
right.
huge. So there's like a moment where like the humans are kind of approaching, and then like the gorillas come out, and you're just like, they are fucked. Like, they can't do anything. Like, it's just like, all right, I'm putting down my gun. Please don't crush me with your giant arms. Like, it's some great stuff like that. But that's like the one scene where gorillas really do stuff. But you know, it's like a totally fine movie. Like, I'm glad it maintains a kind of serious tone about everything, and it's still like well produced and animated and put together, but it just didn't have the same punch this time as that first story. So like, I'm probably not going to go crazy and watch it a bunch of times or anything. Like, it's just, it's a good movie, which is nice, because looking back at like the 70s movies, there's a lot of not good Planet of the Apes movies. Like, this one kind of reminded me of Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is like the shittiest one. But like, what if that story was like told way better? Like,
if it was done properly back then.
Yeah, like they deal with the whole kind of like ape not kill ape, like basic rule of society stuff, and like Battle for the Planet of the Apes did that, and like humans and apes kind of negotiating for power. Like, that's Battle for the Planet of the Apes, but that movie was like so clearly the lowest budget, like smallest scale one from that initial batch of movies, and it's not very, very compelling. Whereas this is like a big, expensive, splashy movie. So, you know, it's cool in that way. but yeah, it is. It's not going to do the same thing that one did for me, which I don't know if anything will. But that's the case. It's probably worth seeing though. I guess it's a thoughtfully put together, expensive blockbuster, which there aren't those sometimes in the summertime. Like there wasn't.
Sure.
There was a movie a couple weeks ago with robots in it that was very much not that. So this is money better spent over here. But yeah, it's still like a tiny bit disappointing. Maybe
underwhelming.
Yeah, kind of. I wouldn't say disappointing. Yeah, just kind of underwhelming. I'm just like, okay, that was solid, I guess. Yeah, that was fine. Final point, I guess. CG characters fighting other CG characters, like, just doesn't really have the impact that, like, it's just a thing I noticed in this movie of just like, it reminded me also of like my Kung Fu Panda experience of like great fight choreography in quotes doesn't mean anything if it's all animated anyway. Like there's no kind of like, oh, that stunt man almost fell. Like it's just like, no, this is all fake right now. Like there's just like some part of my brain that is making a distinguishing, like I'm perceiving it in this kind of distinguished way of just like, this isn't actually happening. So it's like, it should be dramatic and crazy that these characters are throwing down, but it kind of doesn't have that impact because it's not like a martial arts fight scene with Jackie Chan or something. Like it is just,
it's like throwing your action figures at each other. It's just not impressive because like, of course I can move him like this.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want if it's all effects. Like it's like, oh man, that scaffolding fell down and they swung onto this chain. And it's just like, it's not a real man. Like it doesn't matter. Like, like The Raid is all about fight choreography and dudes, stuntmen doing crazy stuff. That's impressive. Like,
yeah, because gravity.
Yeah, like these are men battling real world things to pull off insane business. And it's just like, yeah, like that was impressive. I don't even know how, you would have like managed that many extras in a giant mud pit to have like a choreographed fight. Like that's crazy. Good job. Whereas this is just, like we got men with computers and they made it happen. It's, I'm sure there's maybe some mocap happening with some of that stuff too, but there's just this like giant safety net of it's all special effects tweaked and polished up. So it's not kind of raw in that way. But, yeah, it was...
Tested.com.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that they were part of the press junket for that movie.
For Rise of the Planet of the Apes? For
Dawn. Yeah, where it's just like, here's an interview with Matt Reeves and Andy Serkis. It's like, why? You're tested.
I guess because there's some neat technology behind the animation and stuff. Like, Uncanny Valley-wise, they continue to kind of be an impressive example of getting eyes right. Like, they're really confident in their eyes to the point where they kind of zoom in real close and be like, look at that.
Well, yeah, and especially, like, the movie poster. Like, everything is just, like, the face or something. Yeah,
they're super proud of that. So that they talk to, like, a tech-centric site about pulling that stuff off sort of makes sense, but...
Like, the one video that does make sense is... I guess it's called How to Walk Like an Ape for performance capture.
Yeah.
And it's like the dude that helped the actors like get used to moving around like different types of apes or whatever, and he gives some pointers on like how they move and stuff. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Just like an interview with like Andy Serkis. I don't know. Whatever.
Jamie and Adam clout gets you the bigger interviews or something. I don't know.
I guess so. Sure.
I mean, it does seem a little just like where were y'all 3 years ago when the real story happened? But
what happened 3 years ago? Oh, like the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking, like with Tested, it's like what happened? They were still in the basement, right?
Yeah, they might have brought it up, but there was no 1 hour solid podcast saying how it's the greatest thing that's ever happened. So
there was on this side.
There was, yeah. We did it. This movie doesn't warrant such treatment, so it won't happen.
Yeah, fair enough.
No Apecast 2. But, yeah.
Or maybe an Apecast 2, just not about this movie.
Yeah, it's just like,
let's go to the zoo.
Conquest is really kind of crazy. Ricardo.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I just went to the zoo. There was a real gorilla, and he was eating coconut.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, that was kind of the big release. It's doing pretty well and everything, but it didn't melt my mind.
A lot of people liked it, though.
Yep. They sure did.
So that's good, I guess.
Payday? Do you want to talk about that?
There's nothing to really discuss. I've just been playing a lot of it.
No new developments on the Payday front?
Nah, just getting used to more stealthing missions and whatnot. Nothing, like, extraordinary to talk about, really.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's pretty much been it since last week.
I mean, Death Note update, like, we got to the point that Tessa talked about.
Okay.
Where that show completely changes.
Yeah, and, like, not good anymore.
Oh, man. Like, it's kind of just a big speed bump right now for our momentum on that show. Just like, oh, yeah, let's watch another one. Yeah, oh, wait, what the hell? What? Oh, this just got, like, anime. Fuck. Okay.
Really?
Shonen Jump, huh? Like, it was just like, what the hell happened? So, I don't know. I hope it's just kind of part of the tone of the show changed because there was a big change in, like, this one character who's a key part of it. So maybe it's kind of a long con thing, and then the last part of the show, it'll totally get back to business or something. But it is weird how quickly that show changes completely. We'll probably muscle on, but yeah, like there was like a point where I was like, man, this like transcends anime. Like, people should just hear this story. This is good stuff. Oh, never mind. Like, that's kind of what happened. Of just kind of the wind went out of my sails. But there's still good stuff in that show. I hope they get it back. I hope they get that groove back. Because
they lost it.
I guess I can sort of, like, I mean, it came out 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think how to, like, basically summarize what happened. Like, there's kind of a gimmick in the show's rules where a character can forget everything that they've been doing. Like, an amnesia thing can just happen. And two characters do that, which kind of just results in, like, oh, okay, now they are no longer the prime suspects or whatever because they don't remember doing anything. So, you know, maybe they're innocent. I don't know. But I guess the thing that really, like, threw it all off was just up to this point, L, like, the investigator guy, has just been this kind of expert investigator, like, mysterious guy. There's a point in the episode where, like, episode 17 or whatever it was, where he's just like, hey, by the way, I've been investing in a giant secret base that we are going to now do our investigation out of. It's 25 stories tall. And yeah, I built that over the last couple months. And you're just like, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah, it's just like, where did you get billions of dollars? And how was that happening? And it's just like, yeah, so that happened. Also, me and this other character, like, okay, like, I've been describing this show as like a cat and mouse show, which, like, the main example in my brain is that movie, The Fugitive, where Harrison Ford is on the run and Tommy Lee Jones is chasing him. Are you with me so far?
Yeah, no, I'm there. Go on.
Now, what if, like, 2/3 through that movie, it was like, hey, Harrison Ford, let's become wacky roommates. And then
what?
It's just like, now they live together. Oh, they're chained together.
What?
Light's girlfriend's coming over. Wow. Like, it's just like, what the
fuck?
It's like,
so the two people on opposite sides are hanging out now.
Yeah, they're hanging out. And
okay.
It's like, they were kind of like tensely hanging out before, of just like keeping an eye on each other, like keeping tabs on each other, and like waiting for one of them to make a bad move and kind of like pin the other one. And now it's just kind of, they're just chumming around in this giant skyscraper. And I don't know. It's just super silly. And like, this pop star teen idol is one of their, like, girlfriends, and she hangs out with them. And it's just like, what did you do? Like, is this like part of the show's long con of just like, oh, things are back to normal, and in normal, anime is weird, so we're going to go to that. and then we're going to get back to actual normal, which is people hanging around and worrying about, exams and getting dinner and stuff. Like, I liked how the show was kind of mundane before, but with this like overarching serial killer mystery thing, whereas now it's actually just ridiculous and silly. But in the world of anime, that is boring because everything is that. So that's where I'm kind of like annoyed that this show went that way, because it's just like, that's the easy way, man. Like, wow. So yeah, Death Note. We'll see what happens. That's kind of it, I think, for media stuff this week.
Okay, there's some breaking news. I don't know if it's breaking or not, or that it even really matters, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know Max Temkin.
Yeah.
He's potentially a rapist?
What? What? What are you talking about?
There's sorry, what?
What do you? Okay.
Okay. He put up a blog post on his Tumblr, whatever his fucking dumbass thing here is.
Yep.
And it's basically saying how, like, in college or whatever, he had a brief relationship with a girl in, like, the next dorm room over or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
But, like, he never did anything or blah, blah, blah. And yesterday, she saw apparently a newspaper article about him about Cards Against Humanity or whatever.
Yeah.
And she made a Facebook post saying that, like, he's like my rapist or whatever, and it ruined my day seeing his face and stuff like that. So now a whole bunch of people are calling him a rapist.
Okay. On Tumblr?
Yeah. Now, well, like everywhere.
Yeah.
But what's even worse is that he's not standing up for himself at all.
Well, I'm looking at a post he posted on.
Did you just like type in Max Temkin rapist?
No, I just typed in Max Temkin on Twitter. I'm seeing what he's been posting.
Okay.
I will continue to be a feminist and advocate for women's rights. We removed all rape jokes from Cards Against Humanity years ago.
Yep.
I'm not
harass her.
People carrying pitchforks, harassing people. I'm probably going to take a brief internet break. Okay. I don't know. That's super weird.
I think it's weird he's not doing anything about it, because usually when like somebody of like note or something gets a claim like that, they kind of have to sue, because that can like ruin their life sort of thing. So like the fact that he apparently talked to a lawyer and they were like, yeah, you could sue her for libel and stuff. He's just like, nah, I don't want to be a bully. It's like, fuck you. Like, seriously? This is how, like, whether or not this is a fake allocation or not, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, they should deal with that.
Yeah.
But, like,
it's super weird timing to like bring this up, because like this has been kind of this has been this kind of like underscoring thing on my like social media stuff lately of just people I was like meeting with regularly at Freethinkers Club at university. Like,
are rapists?
No, like they relentlessly post just blogs and statistics about rape, like sex related crimes and stuff, to the point where I like this week I was finally like, okay, like I get it, rape's a crime. Why are you posting this like over and over again? I know. And it just kind of started this weird little like argument and debate on my Facebook about like being part of the problem and trying to like, stand up for like rights and all this stuff. And I was just like, it's like, this is such a straightforward black and white cause to me of just like, this extremely severe crime is bad. And you're just like, yeah, I know. Like, why?
Well, to me, it's kind of a black and white thing. Like, were you or were you not raped? It's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
So my thing is that if he actually wants to help this cause or whatever, and he knows for a fact he didn't rape her, he has to sue her.
See, that's kind of thing, though, where it's like when I entered into the argument on my little circle here, it was like looking at it very black and white, whereas like the way it seems to be is there's just this extreme right, extreme left kind of way of just like men's right advocates versus extreme feminists. And like they just kind of like show no quarter for anything the other side has to say. So like, yeah, even suggesting that like this woman is just blatantly lying to besmirch my character, like that is like, whoa, man.
Well, that hurts the cause too.
You're victim blaming. Like she probably really did have a lot to deal with, and you're just like, okay, I didn't want to start something. I'm just saying I didn't do that. Well, maybe you did, and like there's no way out. It's just.
But see, the thing is that like
finger pointing battle.
It's not victim blaming if they're not a victim.
I know, but
it's just blaming a fucking cunt for being a cunt.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm getting at. But the way this is even worded, he's like, I don't recall. Like, don't
give any ambiguity about it, right?
If you are a rapist, like, you should fucking deal with what you did. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just...
It's kind of these, like...
Take us, like, how do you not know if you raped somebody? How do you not know that?
That's the thing. There seems to be expanding definitions about like all of this of just like, is a bad one night stand where people were drunk? Like if you regret it later, was it rape?
Technically on both sides, it could be. Yeah.
All right. Like it's just kind of like,
yeah,
well, that should be an easy yes, no answer. But there's cases where it's just like, man, like it's been like 9 years. Alcohol was involved. I don't know. and it's just like, oh, okay. Well, now
it sounds like the opening to a personal story here.
No, it's not. I'm just it's not like it. Whatever.
I swear
it's like almost like remember Animal House where there's like I'm gonna check her bra while she's passed out, and it's just like that's kind of rapey, dude. Like now that's kind of dicey.
No, yeah, that is 100%. Right. Yeah,
but it's just a college frat house comedy movie. But it's like, oh, is that part of like the rape culture? Like this is part of like trivializing this stuff, and you're just like, I guess maybe I just thought John Belushi was funny, but now we're getting all serious, and I don't know. I'm sorry for liking comedies. Like it's just it feels like there's no right move to play sometimes with some of this of just like I'm like my example yesterday was just like I'm just trying to enjoy Mario Kart. But now that I'm reading this, like I'm in my periphery, now I'm just thinking about how all the female characters are pink, and is that bad and stuff like that. And it's not the same. It's just gender categorization and all this kind of stuff. It just like once you point at it, I just start noticing it everywhere. But I'd rather not because it's not really. It doesn't seem like it should be that big a deal in like most cases. But it's just getting thrown out there so much. It's just like who are you trying to like pitch this to is kind of my thing of just like, do you think if you didn't post this, we would all go raping tonight and pillaging? Like, it's just like,
yeah, we're not you, Max.
Well, it's just like, good thing I checked my Facebook. Like I was about to go do some really bad things. Like, it's like, that never happens. Like, what do you think is going on? Like,
yeah, this just seems like something that should have been done in private. Like 100%.
Does that exist in like social media world anymore? Right.
I mean, like from his side, yeah, because he could decide not to put it out there.
Oh wait, so right, because it would just be like someone Facebooked someone else, and it's like within his social circle still. Not.
He was the one that put it on his site that people read.
Right.
And on Twitter.
Do you think it might be kind of like a get ahead of this in case someone decides to try to bust it out on him? Like, it's just like, no, okay, I'm going to be the one that whistleblows myself and points out what my side of the story is before someone else can.
No, I think it's just the Max Temkin thing of being a fucking retard and not knowing what he's doing and just kind of winging it and fucking up. And unfortunately, there's no Ryan Davis to pull his ass out of this one. So
you're just saying like the kind of shrug your shoulders. I'm being jokey. Like that's kind of his.
I don't know if he's being jokey with this
way of dealing with it.
Like no, it really doesn't seem that way. If it is a joke, that's really kind of gross. But
it just seems to be that's the way he carries his internet persona so much of just like joking around and kind of goofing. And that's like, oh, this is like a serious issue. I don't know if he has the like social media skills to get out of this one on his own.
Like now you're just making me think if like Mega 64 could talk their way out of a rape accusation or something, right. Or if like I don't know.
It's just, yeah.
Maybe not Sean.
Yeah.
He seems like he could be a rapist.
Well, it's just like, it's weirdly dark kind of subject in a lot of ways, but it's also, it's kind of this thing of like, I've been thinking about the letter of the law stuff of just like, well, all these crimes go unreported. Like, that's a serious problem. It seems to be kind of the nature of some of the stuff I've been seeing posted on my Facebook feed. And it's just like, okay.
What do you mean?
Well, like, okay, like 8 out of every 100 rapists will get actually convicted and put in prison. Like,
yeah,
24 of them will go to trial. Like, say 64 of them will get reported at all. And then there's a whole bunch more that aren't reported in any way. Kind of.
Well, wouldn't that be 36?
I think I characterized the article wrong. It might have been 1,000. Like, it was pretty alarming about its kind of thing. I'm just like, pretty much no rapes are reported ever.
Right.
Okay. But I don't know. I was trying to think of just like, there's got to be so many more facets to this of just like, well, my significant other sexually abused me, but if I blow the whistle on them and get them arrested, who's going to cover rent this month? Kind of thing of like, that's just a issue that might prevent someone from calling the cops.
Sure.
You know, like there's factors at play in such a dynamic that would make it more complicated than it seems. Of just like, just call the cops. Just call the cops. They'll deal with it. And you're just like, I guess, but
the gross side, the gross thing is on the other side, there are people that are just like, I don't like that person. He raped me.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, is that just like, oh, it's such a men's rights advocate thing to say? It's like, no, that actually happens.
That does actually happen. And the men's rights group are just as retarded as the feminist group.
I know.
They're like, both retarded.
But I guess it's this thing of it just seems like two extremely like rabid groups are like
the word's retarded.
Well,
rabid
I'm trying to like make it just seem like they're super zealous and passionate about their cause.
They are, but they're stupid.
Okay, but my point is that's kind of my conclusion that I'm leading to is like they're trying to compel me to get off the fence and get into one of their camps. And
it's
I'm
like, motherfucker, I built that fence on the grounds of logic.
Yeah, like, no, this is a complicated issue for a reason. I don't want to be in either of your camps. Like, please stop badgering me and trying to guilt trip me into, like, taking one of your sides. Because I think you're both, like, blinded by something. And I don't know why you're so single-minded on this.
And the weird thing is, in this analogy, the fence, they're actually on the fence because they're not moving. It's like, where I am, where normal people are, is this big ranch of logic and friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are on opposing fences staring at each other.
Like, just like walls of a fort, kind of just...
Yeah,
hurling stuff at each other, and we're just, meanwhile, down in the yard trying to have a barbecue. That's my example.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're the house in the middle, and then there's like one neighbor who's like pissed off, and the other neighbor's pissed off, and we're just like, dude, we're just trying to have a cookout.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's a weirdly complicated thing. So yeah, weird that Cards Against Humanity is now embroiled in it. I have not been really paying attention to their social media presence in a while, but that's too bad. That's weird.
I don't care. I don't like Max anyway.
Okay. How'd you catch wind of it? Just
I can't remember. I think through Twitter or something like that, probably.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. We're super casual dudes to be talking about like political issues, but that's my kind of thing of I'm just trying to have a barbecue, and I don't know why the argument is getting so heated.
What about that 5-year-old that went missing with his grandparents?
Yeah,
that's kind of weird too, right?
Local Calgary crime has gotten darker this year, or I've just
yeah.
I just like we broke a record for mass killings this year of like 5 stabbing deaths earlier, and now there's been like this 2-week missing persons case of just like a little kid and his grandparents have just been gone for weeks, and there's been like Amber Alert for like the duration of kind of the city's big festival, like the Stampede was going on. And it's just like, Meanwhile, periodic news updates of just like, yeah, they're searching this field outside Airdrie and stuff. They're just like, oh, this sounds real bad. Like this, like, like it's like, oh, that's not good at all.
When they're saying we're searching this field in Airdrie, that is probably not going to turn out well.
Yeah, as far as I know, they still haven't actually turned up anything.
They haven't.
Nature of the charges has switched from like abduction to murder. And it's just like, okay, like, all right.
Do you think he ate the bodies?
I would just assume like incinerator or something, right? Like something.
An incinerator called his stomach.
No, I mean I've seen the Hannibal show, but no, I don't think.
Actually, you're probably right because you wouldn't want to eat old people if any, and the 5-year-old would be too little meat probably.
Gross. Gotta make it gross. But yeah, no, I don't think there's elaborate diabolical serial killers on the loose. I think it's something more mundane. Like,
well, they have a guy in custody.
Yeah, there was some talk about like a bad business deal or something as a potential motive. Like, dude's company went under a month ago, and a month later they were selling off some stuff to move out of the city. And yeah, then disappearance and all this kind of
weird
business. It's kind of weird timing for like a movie obsessed person like me, because they've also been releasing trailers about this upcoming movie called Gone Girl, which is about an abduction where no body turns up, and like the person being charged with the crimes is trying to prove their innocence, and they have like nothing because there is no real evidence other than stuff is gone. Like, person's gone and they wrote sketchy stuff about you. So yeah, it's a new David Fincher movie. So weirdly relevant to our municipality.
Yeah.
Disappearances.
A lot of people dead.
Yeah, it's been a weird year for crime.
Also, the Stampede's gone now.
Yeah, Stampede's over.
Yeah. Did you go?
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
No more scorpions around here. So.
I heard they ran out.
Yeah, I heard that weirdly early in the proceedings too. So
yeah,
a lot of people didn't get to eat scorpions.
Apparently, they were serving like another type of bug pizza.
Okay.
Or something. Was it pizza?
It was pizza.
Aaron?
Oh, the other thing? I don't know.
Aaron. Was it bug pizza they were serving at the Stampede?
Scorpion and like beetles.
No, they ran out of scorpions, you said. What did they have? Beetles?
Looked like beetles.
Like big beetles?
Like.
Apparently like 2-inch big beetles.
Okay.
That's much grosser to me than scorpions.
Yeah.
Because they have juices.
Yeah, do you want, like, more bug meat? Probably not.
Yeah, no, not really. Especially one that, like, I'm pretty sure a scorpion would, like, almost, like, go like jerky, I would assume. Like, kind of chewy and rubbery, like, with a little bit of crunch, maybe.
Mm.
A beetle, I'm pretty sure, would just be, like, biting down on a, like, flaccid jawbreaker and just crunch.
Ugh.
Like... like eating a piece of celery or something.
Well, the way they expressed it in The Lion King made them look really juicy. Grubs.
Ugh,
yeah,
grubs.
Those were some juicy things. So, yeah, that's kind of... It's not food, really, around here. I don't know why they did that, but novelty, I guess.
They're idiots.
Yeah, Stampedes. It's over, though, so it doesn't matter. Do we have questions this week or no?
We do, but I didn't pull them. This has been a low rush because I feel really sick. We didn't mention anything like that. So there are voicemails. I didn't pull them. This is literally just like I got home from work. I'm going to go to bed as soon as this is done. So
I just kind of want to end on a happier note
than rape,
local crime, and like sexual assault debate.
Okay.
2014. So, man, is there something goofier, lighter that went down? Ah, man.
Well, okay. So I listened to that Weird Al song that everybody was talking about today.
Okay.
It was okay.
The one, like the new music video came out, the Word...
What was
Word Crimes?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is, again, kind of a validation of Robin Thicke's existence.
Which is really terrible, but...
But it's about grammar. So
it's still not that good, I felt. Like, the writing is fine, as always, like the actual lyrics or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just like what he's talking about with the tone or something.
Kind of like internet, like grammar Nazi chewing you out.
And it's just kind of lame. I don't know. I didn't
Here's the
like it.
thing. It's like I don't ever like bust a gut laughing at Weird Al music anymore.
No.
I'm not like 13.
Right.
But I still just enjoy the topics, I guess. So it's like, hey, there's that hot new song, Fancy. Don't care. There's a song about a handyman talking about how good he is at fixing stuff. And you're just like, that's more distinct to me because it's like no one would actually make a pop song about that person.
Right.
So that's kind of mildly amusing, and I can listen to it.
Sure.
But yeah, again, I'm not like...
The internet blew up with fucking word crimes, though.
Well, I mean, he's releasing a new music video every day, so he's very much trying to blow up the internet every day for the next while to sell albums. Like, it's
right.
Good. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a snarky song about grammar.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is literally all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he hates the use of the word literally, too, and he'll let
improper use of it.
Yeah, don't use it.
Yeah.
Also, irony and coincidence. Don't mix them up. But yeah, I don't know. It's not, oh man, it's so funny. It's just like, it's lyrically goofy stuff that is
sure
poppy sounding.
He's losing his way, though. I
already feel it's a little more compelling than Alpocalypse, the last one.
Okay, fair enough. I skipped that one completely. So
yeah, I mean, I listened to most of those songs via he had an EP that came out before. And I was like, oh, this is like half the same songs. And then like I listened to the other songs and just, I don't care about Lady Gaga, so this isn't great. And yeah, like, so I don't know. This seems a little more topical and occasionally okay. But yeah, really.
I miss Bad Hair Day.
I think Straight Outta Linwood might have had Pancreas, though, which I thought was really good.
Straight Outta Linwood. It had a few good things on there, that's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird Al is still around, and
he is still around. He's getting older.
Yeah, he's like 50.
That's so weird to me.
Yeah,
so old.
Anyway, Weird Al Yankovic in stores now. Mandatory fun.
Mandatory fun.
Yeah,
and that'll do it for us this week. So thank you, as always.
Yeah, I don't think anything really warrants Burning Barrel stuff, except maybe
rape charges,
like men's right advocates and feminists.
Sure, we'll throw them all. We're gonna need a bigger barrel.
Yeah, we're just gonna put Tumblr in the barrel.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, there was DashCon or something.
What? What's that?
DashCon. It was like a crappy little convention they started in Illinois for Tumblr enthusiasts or something.
Oh, geez. Okay. What happened there? Blogging?
I guess so, yeah. I have no idea, honestly. I'm going to look them up right now. I think it's just like dashcon.org, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's even a .com, to be honest with you.
Oh, briefly, do you want to, I don't know. I just want to at least acknowledge, hey, John did really well in a video game competition.
Did he?
Yeah, I got second place in the Iron Man of video gaming.
Very cool.
So,
congrats.
Applause. I don't think he'll be on this week's Top Down Perspective with you guys, though, based on what I've been reading.
No, we've known last week that he won't be around for 3 weeks.
Okay, so stay tuned, though, this Thursday for Paul and Sean talking game about games.
I really feel like I should play something other than Payday.
Did you beat Shovel Knight?
I could finish it off, I suppose, yeah.
Oh, there was also a kind of cool Humble Bundle today that included the Bureau, which I've been curious about.
Do you want a copy of it?
I already got it.
Okay, I could have given you a copy of it for free.
The Bureau? You bought it too?
No, somebody was like, here.
Oh, okay. Whereas I still have an extra copy of Darkness 2 because I already have that game. But
great.
Yeah. It's whatever.
DashCon aims to be the largest gathering of Tumblr users to date.
Oh, wow.
And I think they were assuming they were going to have 3,000 to 7,000 people.
Whereas, just saying that, I'm wondering if that just inadvertently happens whenever, a sports game happens or something.
Oh, more than that.
There's 40,000 people here.
7,000 of them is probably Tumblr users.
I have a Tumblr account, so if I am anywhere with, 10+ thousand people, potentially, it's the biggest gathering of Tumblr users ever.
It's kind of the stupidest idea for a COD, right?
Right.
Like, that's not just me.
Common ground is just a website you use. It's not like what you're into.
No, see, I still understand like why the escapists can have their con, or like Screw Attack just had theirs, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but there's like common interests.
Well, it's revolved around
together.
like a site. A social media site is literally just the people.
It's like a platform.
It is the people that go there that make the site.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's just like
it's
hey,
like if
what are
Twitter
you
had a
into?
convention, TwitCon.
Nothing at all. You are okay. Great. Why are we at this convention?
Oh man, do you think they had the like men's rights activists?
Well, there would have had to be some, right?
Right.
It's like that's what I hear about Tumblr a lot lately is feminism versus men's right advocates battleground zero, and it's just like I don't want to go there. That sounds terrible.
I'll be completely honest with you. When I heard DashCon, I thought it was a brony convention.
Yeah, I was like, is this just like Rainbow Dash only convention? That's really weird.
We expect 5,000 people to come and show their support for Rainbow Dash, Best Pony. I don't know.
Fly.
And like,
Yep. Will she join the Wonderbolts this season? I don't know.
do you know Night Vale?
Yes, the podcast. Yeah.
Okay, apparently they were like the draw here or something.
Oh, at Tumblr thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
they had a Night Vale event.
Okay, there was a Night Vale thing in town lately that sold out. Brittany went to it. I was at work. It's like a reading of one of their podcasts. It's yeah. Apparently that thing is really big with teenagers, and that was kind of
A
like
lot of stuff's really big with teenagers.
that was
You
a
know what I
baffling thing for me because I was like, oh, I thought this was for 30+ people who like Twin Peaks.
I'm sorry, I'm glad you glossed over my disgusting pedo joke.
What about? There's a lot of things teens are into, if you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Oh, there's a lot of things are big to teenagers.
Oh God.
I'm so sorry.
Again, like I'm trying to end on a good thing and we're just getting dark. Keep doing dark stuff.
No, but yeah, like I don't know. I've been meaning to try to like check it out or something, but
It's like a spooky newscast from like a town that doesn't
like a fictional town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's
if you were to do something else like Silent Hill, like a Silent Hill
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of Silent Hill, but like also David Lynch type stuff, Twin Peaks type stuff. Like I don't know. It's got charm to be sure, but for me it's like, oh, this exists because of this. And apparently that is not a barrier for entry for people who have no idea what that is. Unless somehow like 17-year-olds have all seen Twin Peaks and think it's great, and I'm just out of the loop. I am out of the loop. I have no idea what teenagers are into. So, oh well.
They're just stupid, shitty stuff.
That's my perception of it, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're actually.
We have quite a few of them that listen to us.
So what are you into? Write in next week. Let us know. Provide there's new information.
I'm looking at on the About Us staff thing on DashCon. I'm looking at they link like some of the administrators of the convention's fucking like Tumblr stuff or whatnot.
Yeah.
These people might be actually retarded. So anybody who went might have gone to a retarded Tumblr con for retards.
Man, it's like word of the week, retards. Like if you
Well, sorry, Mongoloid. Is that better?
Okay. Yeah, there it is.
MongoCon.
Politically correct con is the week after. Jeez.
Politically conrect.
Ah.
I was going to say Congoloid.
This is the one that gets us labeled for like hate crimes on iTunes, and we never recovered.
Yeah, no shit.
But no, we're just talking about the facts. The preceding statements do not reflect the deeply held beliefs of either party. We're just joking around.
Sure.
Maybe. Actually, no, it's kind of pussying out, right?
Yeah, kind of.
I stand by everything I said.
I was going to say, you don't want to Max Temkin this bitch.
Yeah. Stirring up beefs now. Oh, God.
There's
Okay.
no beef. I just don't care about him at all. So,
But I do care about Shovel Knight this week. This week's episode's game of the stuff.
I mean, yeah, for sure. It's I mean, I've been playing a lot of Payday, but if I go back into Shovel Knight, that will be my game of the week, probably still.
I'm kind of joking, though. It's probably actually still Mario Kart for me. But
Oh, okay.
I did dig my first...
Oh,
God. I'm not trying to. It's just the digging. I use that word irrespective of shovel jokes.
I'm ending this podcast. Good night, everybody.